Hey guys, welcome to another video. If you've been here before, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome to Roberto's Journals. In today's video, I'm continuing on with my Invisalign journey, but today I'm not going to be sharing an update with you, but instead I'm going to be sharing with you 5 pieces of advice that I'd like to give to you and hope that it would help you with putting on your Invisalign and taking them out. These 5 things are probably the top 5 things that I always, or I am currently encountering when putting my Invisalign in and taking them out. And if any of you guys are about to start your Invisalign journey, maybe this might help you guys before you actually begin your Invisalign journey. Or for those of you that are well into your Invisalign journey, I'm sure it's something that you can definitely relate to. So number 1 is something that I experienced pretty much straight away once I started to use, once I got my very first set of Invisalign, and that is the clipping of the inside of your cheek. Now, when you put your Invisalign in, sometimes when the back part where your molars are, when that Invisalign clips in, it also takes with it a little bit of the inside of your cheek. Now, depending on how much cheek gets stuck between your Invisalign and your teeth will depend on how painful, sensitive it is. I mean, it's only like a sharp scratch, so it's nothing too drastic, but it's something that does happen frequently, and it's one of those things that you just don't get used to. It's just always going to have that sharp scratch feeling. So the only way around it is that when you do put your Invisalign in, make sure you position your finger in between the inside of your cheek and your Invisalign, so that when you push down on your Invisalign, it doesn't take cheek with it. Number 2 is, this took me a couple of weeks to get used to, but I used to always find a different way to put my Invisalign in every single time, until it clicked one time that when I do put my Invisalign in, you should always line them up with the same teeth. So for those of you who know about my stubborn canine, this one here, well, not so stubborn now, but this canine here, I don't know if you can see it if I zoom in a little bit. If I bring the camera closer, can you see how this canine here is a little bit taller compared to the other teeth? So I always, whenever I put my bottom Invisalign in, I always position my Invisalign with this tooth here. Now, every time I do that now, it just seems like my Invisalign just slots into place perfectly. And then with my top ones, I always line them up with my front 2 teeth here. That way I know I've got it dead center. I don't know what it is. I do wonder if anyone else experiences this exact same method. But because I always focus on that tooth when I put my bottom ones in, and my front 2 teeth here when I put my top ones in, it works every single time, and it's the same process now over and over again. Now, when I did get my Invisalign starter pack, it also came with something called a Chewy. Now, this Chewy is just like a little bit of rubber, I'd say, that once you put your Invisalign in, you kind of chew on this Chewy. And what it does is that it really pushes your Invisalign down onto your teeth, which increases the tracking. Now, I remember when I first had my Invisalign, I used to just push down with my fingers just like this, and I thought that it was firmly in place. And then it wasn't until maybe a couple of minutes after, I would just bite down on my 2 sets of teeth just to kind of rest normally, and I'd feel that the Invisalign would go into my teeth a little bit more, which proves that sometimes by pushing down on your fingers onto your Invisalign onto your teeth doesn't necessarily bring it all the way to its actual position that it should be. So I found that afterwards, if you don't have a Chewy, then of course, like really make sure that you push down with your fingers. Otherwise, use the Chewy. What I do is after I've kind of put my Invisalign in, I chew on the Chewy whilst I'm doing something else in the bathroom, whether that be washing my hands or drying my hands or doing my hair, whatever. It's just I just put the Chewy in, start chewing on it just to make sure that everything's in place whilst I do something else. Now, you're taking your Invisaligns out routine or method might need a little bit getting used to. Now, I'm only saying that from my own experience. I found it quite difficult to take them out to begin with, to the point where I needed to use that tool to kind of leverage the Invisalign out. But as with anything that you use daily, you do end up finding your best routine, your best method on how to do that certain thing. Now what I find, or what I found with mine, is whenever I use my, like the inside of my nail to kind of hook inside, for some reason it how do I explain this? Like if you hook something with your nail and it gets right inside your nail and it's really, really sensitive and painful, that's what happened with my Invisalign. I'm sure there must be other people who have had Invisalign who have experienced this as well. Well, I'm one of them, and it was really painful to the point where it even bled a little bit on, like, inside my finger. It was really painful. So anyway, I needed to find a way rather than using this tool all the time. And I found that with using my thumb, that was actually a really good method for my bottoms. And I'll show you how easy it is. So here, I just use my one thumb, and this wasn't as sensitive as my fingers hooking it with my nail. And then I just pull it up and it gets rid of it now. It takes it outside of my teeth now. And what I find is once you've got one part of your Invisalign out, then all you need to do is just pull out the Invisalign so that it comes out the other end. So for my top teeth, I always use these two fingers to hook the back here, because for some reason they don't, it doesn't get right inside my nail for some reason, and I'm able to leverage it like so, like that, and then I can just pull it out rather than using a hook on this side and a hook on this side. Let me just quickly put this in. Okay, so I don't know if you, I highly doubt you would have heard that, but when I bit down on my teeth, it just goes to show that there was still a gap between my Invisalign and my teeth, because I felt it go into my teeth a little bit more. So my top Invisalign, I use these two fingers here right at the back to pull down. Once it's loose on this side, I pull the rest, and here on my bottom one, I use, well, either one of my thumbs, hood it out from the side, and then it just comes out easily. One sec. And then lastly, I mentioned it on my previous video, but I'm going to talk to you guys about when you take your Invisalign out, rinse them if you can. I don't know if that's just an OCD thing about me just being an absolute clean freak when it comes to anything to do with my teeth. Rinse them out if you can, so that when you put them back in, you don't have like bubbles of saliva everywhere inside your Invisalign. Again, maybe I might get used to it in the future, but it's something that I certainly am not used to still after only using Invisalign for 2 months. So rinse them out if you can. So something I mentioned in my previous video, what I tend to do is I just put a timer on my watch or on my phone. I just ask Siri to put a timer of 30 minutes, and after that first timer, I know that I've had 30 minutes, and I don't allow it to get to a second timer, because it means that I've had my Invisalign out for an hour. And it's just a really healthy routine that I've kind of been sticking to, and it's something that I feel that is quite sustainable. Okay guys, so there you have it. Those are my 5 tips that I'd like to share with you in my first few months, in my first couple of months of having my Invisalign in. Let me know in the comments below if these are the 5 same things that you guys have dealt with or are dealing with, or if there's anything else that you've dealt with as well. I'm so interested to know. I love talking about anything to do with teeth. Yeah, weird, I know, but we are a weird group of friends, aren't we? As always, any tips, suggestions, recommendations, any pieces of advice that you want to share with me, also put them in the comments down below. I read every single one and I reply to every single one too, and I love chatting to you guys about anything and everything. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate every single one of you guys. Remember to be kind, and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.